Road trip, where are we going?
Leadville.
What are we doing?
Camping. Running.
Training camp.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. We're doing dispersed camping here in Leadville. It's getting kind of dark. Kelly's making a fire. We're about to turn it in for the night. Gonna pop the tent. All right, day one. How'd you sleep, babe?
I slept better.
We were absolutely freezing. What are you eating?
Overnight oats from Nest.
Yum.
They are yum.
These are so delicious. Peanut butter and jelly. You know that song? It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, and a baseball bat. First run, Kelly's gonna do a little bit of work at the coffee shop. I'm meeting up with a new friend, Lance. Never met him before, but we got a lot of mutual friends. He's out here training for, I think it's called the Leadman, where he's got to do a marathon, the 50-mile run, the 100-mile bike, and the 100-mile run, and a 10K in there. So he's a savage, but putting on the toe socks now. To no blisters. They look funky, but they work. I got some weird toes. Got a new friend here on the trail. It's kitty litter.
Oh, I got an ounce in the background. Let's go.
Gotta keep it honest here. Walking anything that's even close to it, I'm done. What is it that you do for work, Lance?
So similar to you, I coach as well.
Heck yeah, I love coaching.
And trying to be that one-stop shop for people when it comes to optimizing their nutrition, their training, their recovery, and their mindset.
Nice.
And some people need a little bit more work in some areas than others. So it's nice to be able to have those different touch points with people depending on their goals, where they're currently at, where they're trying to go.
What do you see as one of the biggest problems with your clients?
It's really personal, it's individual. I don't know, mindset comes to mind a lot. Again, sometimes we overcompensate. We think we're a lot better at one point in our lives than we really are, just because we're so good and dominant at everything else.
Right.
That you need the humility to be like, oh, okay, let's have an open mind. Let's try this out, see if it works. If it doesn't, okay, great, we tried that experiment, let's try something else. You know, always pulling those different levers, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And then when you find what works, you just stick with it.
And I imagine a lot of your clients can resonate with that, because they'll try so many things in their work life. They'll try different projects, they'll hire different people, they'll, you know, work on different campaigns. But with their personal life, can be a lot harder because they're used to crushing things.
Yeah.
They're used to achieving.
They have that expectation that it's gonna be like that at all points of life.
It's super cool as a coach to be able to, you know, see people at where they're at. We'll link a bunch of Lance's stuff. Check them out too.
I do virtual for anybody in the world.
Cool.
But then if you're in person in New York, I meet up with you as well for personal training or nutrition stuff. Yeah, so with your power hiking, you're gonna be working different muscles slightly than when you would be jogging versus also when you're running a lot harder. So if you're training for an extended race where you know there's gonna be sections that you're gonna be walking and you say power hiking, where you're using the biggest stride that you can, you're moving your legs, the turnover as quickly as possible, you have to train that too, because again, if you're not training that musculature, it's gonna fatigue out really quick. So that power hiking session is just as important as the aerobic, as the threshold work that you're going to be doing throughout your training blocks. So don't forget about the hike.
Yeah, so we're talking about when we're coaching endurance clients and they just want to run because their egos can't handle the walk. I'll tell you guys right now, when I first started off, my first run, keeping my heart rate in my zone 2, was a 15.5-minute mile. So I was walking a lot.
Yeah, you're not running a 15-minute mile.
No, sir. I walked probably more than I was running. That lasted for a few weeks. So I had to go out and continue to walk at that pace. And it was a little bit brutal. I mean, I identify as an athlete. And so it was tough on the ego, but I stayed with it. And after a while, that starts to come down, and it sounds so cliche, but it really is just focusing on being the best version of you. And if you compare to other people who have probably been doing this for years, you're always going to feel like a failure.
Yeah, man, you can't compare your chapter 3 to somebody's chapter 28.
100%.
Just like you were saying, like, let go of the ego, you trust the process, and you do the training, execute it properly, you are going to see the results that you want.
It's working. We're living proof of it right now. I've been doing this training since October, so not crazy long, but I've seen a lot of improvement. Talking about zone 2 training, and we missed this hill,
which we're going to be hiking as well.
Which we're also hiking. Look at this turquoise lake. Whoa.
That's it.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Turquoise Lake.
Oh yeah.
Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. This would be aid station number 1. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. How about yourself?
Feel pretty good. Yeah, looking for Kelly. Why his butt and his socks are so wet, and we went to refill his bladder.
Yo, come on. Really?
Amateur move, amateur move.
T-tape.
Okay,
We're gonna see if it can take care of water bladders just as good as it can take care of your body.
let's see. So far, so good.
Holden, maybe? I'm gonna have to run really fast to make sure that I get back before anything happens.
So we're gonna head up here at mile 53, go up to Hope's Pass. Colorado, baby. So beautiful here. And this trail is steep. Heels in the air only.
Crushing it.
Made it up to Hope Pass. That was steep. I'm not gonna lie. That was hard. Very nervous for the race. Very, very nervous. Oh boy.
You got it, honey.
Yeah, I can do it?
I know you can do it.
Okay. Coming down, backside of Hope Pass into Winfield. Kelly's crushing it. To the bottom, she crushed it. How do you feel?
Very proud of you.
How do you feel? How's your body feel?
I just busted my knee, but besides that,
This
I
is
feel good.
so steep at the end here, and Kelly took a little tumble, but crushed it. On to the next. Better than fresh fruit when you're super hot. If it was cold, it would be even better, but it's pretty dang good.
Get the hell out of my face!
What do you think?
It's incredible. Look at the chocolate seeping through the pores of the graham cracker.
1 to 10.
12.
Where the start line was, all the way to Mayqueen, the first aid station. See you guys later. Have a good day. So Kelly and I are trying to do this filming thing where the GoPro's on the car and I'm running, trying to tell you guys about the training camp. And she thinks that I'm Usain Bolt and is taking off at 100 miles an hour. I'm trying to run at a casual talking pace. So we're gonna try this again. Ready, babe? Okay. So I was with Lance, a little bit faster, babe. I'm not that slow. And so Leadville training camp. I don't know if this is our move, babe. So I just got back from Leadville, did a mini training camp, really wanted to scout the course. You know, I find it so important when I'm doing what feels like a big physical adventure or a big physical feat to gain as much knowledge of it as I possibly can so that I can start mentally understanding what the challenge is that it's coming up and then where to push, where to pull back, you know, where to rest, etc. And so going up to Leadville as much as possible to see the different parts of the course. And on this trip, met up with my new friend Lance. So you guys saw, we did the start line all the way to Mayqueen, which is the first aid station. It was so helpful getting to know that it's a downhill right in the beginning. It's got that super spicy little uphill section, but then you know you're hitting that single track all around Turquoise Lake. And so he did the race last year and was telling me, you know, it's really important that you get into the spot that you kind of want to be in before you hit that single track conga line, because it's really difficult to pass people. And so we hit that run on the first day, and then immediately after, Kelly came to pick me up from Mayqueen. Lance continued actually to run that back and do a full marathon, and then Kelly and I went to Winfield to do the backside of Hope Pass, which I've read is the steepest part of the whole course. And oh man, it was. My heels were not touching the ground at all the entire time that we were going up that pass. I started getting to my head a lot. I was maybe a little bit cranky, but yeah, it's just helpful to know that that's gonna be really hard. I might probably be at a 35, 40 minute mile pace, especially if that's coming at mile 53 in the race, just to know that that's there so I can mentally prepare for it ahead of time and then know what it's like to run down that as well. We had some amazing s'mores at the end of that night. Got some decent sleep. It's tough to sleep at elevation. So then today, woke up, stayed at Mayqueen, camped there, amazing campsite right on Turquoise Lake. And then I wanted to see what it would be like to go from Mayqueen up to Powerline. And I didn't have enough time to go down Powerline, so I went up to where those power lines were, up Hagerman Road, and I think it's called Sugar something pass, and then ran back down. And that Hagerman Road is just steep enough where you can kind of run it. Just gotta make sure that your heart rate doesn't pop up too much, but running down it was a ton of fun. Really got to pick up the pace, move a little bit faster, and so it gave me so much confidence finishing training camp with that final run, being able to push the pace downhill and feel great about it. So if you're doing something and you're a little nervous about it, try to get as many details as you can that are possible, and you can kind of break down that larger goal into minier ones and feel better about it. So I got the 50-mile race coming up this next weekend. Looking forward to seeing how it goes.